So probably just as a last example about using arrays to access objects that have been made in an array, we can actually go back to where we started, which was with classes. So we don't have to have arrays that are just of integers or floats or doubles. We can use larger scale values as well. So if I just comment all of this stuff out, all the way down to here, and we come back to the idea of weapons. And I had this where I was declaring an AK-47, an M4, and a Vepr Hunter, and then I was going through and doing various things. What if I wanted to declare, the whole question, this sort of tutorial series has been, what if I declared 50 of this or 100 of this or whatever? So what if I wanted to declare a bunch of these weapons, add ammo to them, reload them and shoot them? Okay, and we know that if we declare one, so weapon W equals new weapon W.add ammo, say 10, yeah 10, W.reload and W.shoot, I should get a bang, right? Reloading and then bang. And then it printed, okay, there was no name there. So I could have called this, maybe I should have called it W.name equals W. Yep, just so we know which one it was. So W did a bang. So what if we wanted 50 of these? Okay, that's been my whole kind of thing I've been harping on about. So we can do that, right? We can say a weapon array. We're going to fire lots of guns, okay? A weapon array, weapons, equals new weapon. So if we do this by itself, we have a stack variable that's waiting to point to something on the heap. If we actually declare it, equals new, if we declare the memory for it, a new weapon of length 50. I said I wanted, let's just make 10 for now. So 10 things. And maybe it's easier for me to say int num weapons equals 10, and then for me to put num weapons in here. Okay? So great, I've got a weapon array. Now, that does not make a weapon in each array slot. They are all empty right now. If we make an array of integers, that's fine. It's ready to hold integer values. But if we make an array of weapons, each of those slots is basically a pointer to a new weapon, and we don't have anything in there, so it's empty. So the first step 1, allocate weapons in each slot. Okay, so at the moment it's like a bookcase that can hold 10 books, but it's an empty bookcase. Okay, so it's an empty weapon rack. So for in I is 0, while I is less than weapons.length I++. So go through the array from 0 to length -1 and say weapons at I is equal to a new weapon. And then I want you to weapons at I dot name equals, so if we made all these AK-47s, AK-47 dash plus I. So that would be like the first weapon would be called AK-47 0, and the next one would be AK-47 1, blah blah blah. So that's just going to give each one a name. It's going to put it in the weapon rack and give it a name. So here, by the time we get here, we've got a weapon rack full of weapons named from AK-47 0 all the way to AK-47 length -1, so 9. And then I could write another for loop to go through int I equals 0. I can reuse int because the scope of I was just in there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. Ooh. Yep. For I is 0, I is less than weapons dot length. I could also use num weapons, right? But in either case, I plus plus, I could go weapons. I could get the weapon at that slot, right? Weapon W equals weapons at I. So I don't have to type weapons at I every time. Now I've got that weapon in W, and I can just say W dot add ammo. Okay, 10. W dot reload. W dot shoot. Okay, so if I press run now, it's going to shoot all of those AK-47s. It's going to reload it and then shoot, add the ammo, reload and shoot, add the ammo, reload and shoot. What if I just wanted it to add the ammo and reload, do all that in one for loop, and do another for loop? I is 0, I less than, well, we'll do it in reverse order. I equals weapons dot length minus 1. I is greater than or equal to 0. That's the condition that needs to be upheld, and then I minus minus. Okay, so that's going to make I start from the last element number, so in this case 9, and go all the way down to 0, and I can keep doing this while I is greater than 0 now, or equal to 0. So for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then once it gets another one minus from it, it'll get to -1, and then this will fail, and it'll fall through to here. Okay, and here I can go weapon W equals weapons at I, W dot shoot. So now it's going to load them all, and then it's going to shoot them in reverse order. Okay, so all the loading happens there, and then from AK-47-9 all the way down to AK-47-0, it goes bang. And then because I've written all of these loops using weapons.length and going from I to weapons.length or length minus 1 to 0, either way, I can just change this to 100 and there'll be 100 weapons in the loop instead of 10. Okay, so then we get 100 reloadings and then 99 down to 0 AK-47s going bang. And by the time we get down here, our variables pop off the stack and our reference counted weapons that are sitting up in the heap get their references decremented to 0 and they'll get cleaned up by the garbage collector. And that's a kind of a quick example about how you go through an array that's filled with objects. And if you are declaring that array, do remember, unless it's the basic types, int and double and float and whatnot, those are ready to accept values as soon as you declare the array. If you're declaring an array of something that is a class, then the array is empty. And if you want it to contain objects, you need to go through the array and put an object in each slot. So just remember, you do have to do that step. That next step here was reload all weapons, weapon, and this step here was fire weapons in reverse order, just for, shits and giggles. So this is step 3. This is step 2. Okay, just run it again for fun. So loops definitely make our life easier, but they require some discipline to use.